Hello and welcome to Eco 157, Principles of Microeconomics. I'm your professor. You can call me Professor Rick, Professor Weber, whatever you feel comfortable with. What I want to do right now is show you the most important stuff you need to know right at the beginning. So, first off, Brightspace. Most of our graded stuff we're going to access through Actually, I guess all of our graded stuff we're going to access through Brightspace. Some of it's going to be in Brightspace itself, some is going to be in an external platform, which we will talk about momentarily. So when you go to mylearning.farmingdale.edu, it should bring you to a page that looks like this. You'll look for our class and you'll click in, and that'll bring you to something like this. Now, this is just my Wednesday night class. The material is the same as Monday night. It's the same as my online class. The in-person classes are basically exactly the same as the online classes, with the difference that we are meeting in person. So you have a lot more time for one-on-one, for discussion, and for me to provide a little bit more context. So you log in, the class homepage. The most important things to look at are, first off, the announcements. If there's anything going on in the class, anything out of the ordinary, it's going to be posted up in the announcements. So, for example, if I have to cancel a class, I will put it up here. And then over on the right, we will see our calendar, which will have deadlines. I have to update the deadlines for the fall, but basically it's going to be every Sunday night you get a reading assignment and some Cengage work. So, and then we've got these shortcuts into here, but these are just taking us into content. Now, when we go into content, we're going to see a few different things. Let me see if I can't. There we go. Shrink this down. So we've got some stuff on the course information, the syllabus, all that, Cengage stuff, which we'll talk about in a second. The learning modules, this is all the material for the class. It includes video playlists, it includes references to the textbook that we're dealing with, it includes assignments. And then down here I've got three folders that are accessing our graded work. So our grades are going to be in three different areas: MindTap work, which is on Cengage, weekly reading assignments, which are going to be on Brightspace, and then quizzes, which are going to be a stand-in for exams. So instead of doing a traditional midterm and final with proctoring, we're going to do more but smaller quizzes under high-stakes exam type conditions. Again, we'll talk about that in a little bit. But you can sort of shortcut your way to those assignments with these folders, but they're also linked to in learning modules. So let's start with the course information. Basically, every question you might have about the class is going to be answered in the syllabus. And I will update the fall syllabus shortly, but if you get into the class before I've done that, the summer syllabus is going to be basically exactly the same. So be sure you go through the syllabus. It's long, it's detailed, it's got a lot of stuff, but it is important. It's the basic rules of the game. When I have students who fail the class, it's almost always because they didn't read the syllabus. So make sure you check that out and email me if you have any questions. You can email me either by clicking the message system in Brightspace, or there's an email in the syllabus, weber@farmingdale.edu. That's going to be the more reliable way to get in touch with me. So, read the syllabus. The other big thing is you need to sign up for Cengage Unlimited. So it's a bit of a nuisance, right? We have to get textbooks. In this case, we're also getting a homework system built in with this. The advantage is it's giving us quick feedback, it's giving explanations, it's tying everything in together. There's a lot of features here. It is $100 and something to get that. Now, don't try and get the $70 one because we need MindTap for you to get your grades. It is a little bit more expensive, but we're using it because it's worth the money. That said, you'll see in the syllabus, this is 40% of your grade, so if you try to save $120 by not getting Cengage Unlimited, you're going to fail the class and you're going to end up wasting your tuition. So don't try and save don't try and save $100 by wasting $3,000 or whatever your tuition is for this class. So you sign up for Cengage. If you've got an account, you can sign in, buy Cengage Unlimited. You should get a trial period for the first couple weeks, but you're going to need it all semester. So, beg your parents, uh, beg your boss for your paycheck early, whatever it takes to get that as soon as you can, get that. Cool. So sign up for Cengage Unlimited. Once you have Cengage Unlimited, you can click Our Class in MindTap, and it's going to take you to a page that looks like this. Your version is going to look different because you're not going to be looking at the class average, but you'll get the same basic thing. So like I said, I have to update our deadlines. Right now, everything is just stuffed into the end of the semester, but basically we'll bring these deadlines so that we're doing them in chunks related to the modules. Speaking of which, so in learning modules, we have 14, 15 weeks worth of material, but some of them we bundle together. So for example, with supply and demand, we have several chapters, 4, 5, actually we're skipping 5, 4, 6, 7, and 8. All right, so we've got a few different sections. Let me collapse these so it's a little easier to see. Part 1, Part 2, Part 3. And then at the end, we will have a quiz. And we will also have the supply and demand chapters from ManQ due around the same time, right? Rather than week by week, we're going to have suggested deadlines in MindTap, but the real deadlines are going to be what's on Cengage. So, in a typical week, we will have, say, Module 5, you'll have some learning outcomes you're driving towards, some reading assignments, Chapter 4 in ManQ, a written assignment, which we'll talk about in a second, and we'll have a video playlist. In this case, we have 2 playlists, so just a collection of videos going through the concepts. Like I said, for the online students, this is giving you the stuff, the concepts that we're dealing with. With the in-person, you're getting the same videos as the online class, but we're also going to talk about it in class. So be aware these playlists are usually playlists, not a single embedded video. So when you see this little icon up here, you can see all the videos in that playlist. So Module 5, we've kind of got a lot of videos. And this is part of the reason I want to batch the deadlines rather than every single week. So we will have that, the stuff to learn. Then we will have a written assignment. So a typical one is going to be out of our other piece of material, The Undercover Economist by Tim Harford. So you can get a copy of this from the library. Be very careful because Harford has another book that is also excellent, but is a different book. Don't get this one. This is a great book for macro, but this is a micro class. You want this one. There is an audiobook. There is a slightly newer edition. It doesn't really matter which edition you get, but you can find a used copy of this pretty cheaply if you're willing to wait for shipping, so order it soon. And then also you can borrow a digital copy from the Suffolk County Library while you're waiting. It's a popular book. You'll be able to borrow it from a city library, from Nassau. It's all over the place. So, a typical week, we will read one chapter of this, and we'll write a brief summary and response. So basically a couple paragraphs, something that convinces me you did the reading, something that convinces me you understood and you thought about the reading. Very open-ended. It's just a completion points graded basis. So don't sweat it. It's low pressure, but it is 20% of your grade. So if you don't do it, you're eliminating the possibility of getting an A or a B in the class. Right? So this is part of providing some extra context for what we're dealing with. And this, by the way, is typically a favorite part of the class for students who have taken this in the past, so enjoy it. Harford is an excellent writer, and he's really going to bring the concepts to life for us. So, that's a typical week, right? We read some stuff, we do a reading assignment, we do some Cengage work, and then after a set of these things, we will have these quizzes. So we're going to have just a syllabus quiz to make sure you understand what's going on, and then 6 different quizzes that are basically a mini exam. The way that these are working is basically independent work, but otherwise no holds barred, right? Open book, open notes, but you get one attempt and you're on a deadline. Now, if you need accommodations through Disability Services Center, get that paperwork done early so that I can adjust this for you. But the basic setup is you're going to have 30 minutes to answer a set of questions, and you're going to feel a time crunch. It's going to be a little bit stressful. That said, there are 6 of these quizzes, so if you mess up one, it's not the end of the world. Right? Unlike, say, a midterm where you mess it up, that's a big chunk of your grade. Each one of these on its own is relatively small, but collectively they're big. Right? So you want to be doing well overall. You want to make sure that you're set up for success, that you've studied, that you've got a good cheat sheet, that no one's going to interrupt you and all that stuff. But that's going to be, the basic way that we're replacing a midterm and a final. These are online. You're going to be able to do these at your own time. I will adjust these deadlines, but we'll be doing these throughout the semester. And, again, if you have questions, just let me know. All right, so that gets the most important stuff. All the rest of the stuff is in the syllabus, which I will leave for you to read. And if you have any questions, let me know. I will talk to you in the future, and good luck.